Continuing with our Virtues of Stoicism series, today we'll uncover ego mastery, temperance, and wisdom in thought and action. What they are, why they matter, and how they form a gentleman of distinction, where real men grow, evolve, and unlock their true potential. This channel is dedicated to helping you develop unshakable confidence, strength of character, and a masculine frame that demands respect. If you're ready to level up, let's build the man you're meant to be.
Have you ever looked around and felt that something is missing? Have you noticed how the world seems to get louder, faster, and more demanding every day? It seems that in our modern rush, we have misplaced something essential. We have lost a sense of quiet dignity. True strength has been replaced by noise. Character has been traded for clicks. We are constantly pulled in 1,000 different directions by notifications, trends, and the endless pursuit of fleeting pleasures. This constant distraction leaves us feeling empty and unfulfilled. It makes us reactive, not proactive, and it chips away at the very core of what it means to be a person of substance, a gentleman. This isn't a problem of the modern world alone, but the modern world has amplified it. We are encouraged to chase validation, to build a public image that often has little to do with our true selves. We are told to seek comfort and avoid difficulty at all costs. But what does this lead to? It leads to a life lived on the surface, a life of easy choices and shallow rewards. Our attention is fragmented, our resolve is weakened. We become slaves to our impulses, our emotions, and the opinions of others. This is the opposite of freedom. It is the opposite of what it takes to build a life of meaning and purpose. The idea of the gentleman might sound old-fashioned to some, but it is not about a stuffy set of rules or an outdated code of conduct. It is about something timeless. It is about inner strength, integrity, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. It is about being a steady hand in a turbulent world, a person who can be relied upon, a person who commands respect not through force, but through their actions and their character. This is the kind of man the world desperately needs more of. A man who is not easily swayed, who is in control of himself, and who lives by a set of core principles. This journey back to true character is not easy, but it is possible. It does not require you to retreat from the world. Instead, it asks you to engage with it differently. It asks you to look inward. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a powerful and practical guide for this journey. It is not a dusty academic subject. It is a real-world operating system for thriving in the face of adversity. The Stoics understood that the key to a good life was not found in external things, but within. It was found in the cultivation of virtue. This introduction will set you on that path, a path toward rediscovering that lost sense of dignity. We begin our journey with the most intimate and often the most difficult challenge, the mastery of our own ego. What is ego? In Stoicism, the ego is that relentless inner voice. It craves validation, it fears criticism, it constantly compares itself to others. It swells with pride after a minor success. It shrinks in shame after a small failure. It is the source of arrogance. It is the source of insecurity. It is the source of that desperate need to be seen as important. Ego mastery is not about destroying that part of you. It is about learning to manage it. It is the deliberate practice of keeping your pride in check. It is about checking your sense of self-importance so they do not control your actions. A man ruled by his ego is a man in chains. He becomes a slave to the opinions of others. His happiness rises with every compliment. It falls with every insult. He cannot accept feedback. His ego says he's already perfect. He cannot learn from mistakes. His ego insists he never makes any. This makes him fragile. This makes him brittle. This makes him ultimately ineffective. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, understood this danger. Marcus reminded himself to strip away pomp and circumstance, to see things as they truly were, not as his ego wanted them to be. This is ego mastery, gaining the clarity to see the world and yourself honestly, without the distorting lens of pride. Think of the ego as a wild horse. If you let it run free, it will drag you through dangerous, unpredictable territory. It will chase every shiny object. It will flee from every shadow. It will exhaust you and lead you nowhere of value. Ego mastery is gently taking the reins, training that horse to serve your higher purpose, not its own whims. It requires patience, it requires awareness, it requires consistent effort to subordinate your need for recognition to doing what is right. It is a quiet internal battle. It is the first and most crucial one on the path to becoming a gentleman of distinction. Without this virtue, other virtues become corrupted. Courage becomes reckless bravado to impress others. Justice becomes a performance for public acclaim. Wisdom becomes arrogance, a tool to prove you're smarter than everyone else. The ego taints everything it touches with selfish motive. By learning to control it, you protect your potential for growth. You create internal space for true humility to take root. You can learn from anyone. You can learn from any situation. This is the starting point for building an unshakable character. It is the first step toward inner freedom. In our modern world, the ego finds more nourishment than ever before. It is constantly being fed, and we are often unaware of how we are contributing to its power over us. The most obvious trap is social media. Every platform is designed around the very things the ego craves: likes, shares, followers, comments. We meticulously craft an online persona, a highlight reel of our lives designed to elicit envy and admiration. This digital version of ourselves becomes a demanding master. We start making choices not based on our values, but on what will look good in a post. The line between our authentic self and our curated image blurs, and our self-worth becomes dangerously tied to these superficial metrics. Beyond the digital realm, the ego finds traps in our professional lives. We chase job titles, promotions, the corner office, not just for the responsibility or the opportunity to contribute, but for the status they confer. We become obsessed with being right in meetings, not because the truth is important, but because our ego cannot stand to be corrected. The need for praise from a boss or colleagues can become a powerful driver, leading us to compromise our integrity or avoid necessary but unpopular decisions. A true gentleman seeks to be good, not just to look good. He values contribution over credit and substance over status, recognizing these as common snares for the untamed ego. Another insidious trap is the constant comparison to others: a friend's new car, a colleague's vacation photos, or a rival's success, and immediately feels a sense of lack or jealousy. It whispers that we are falling behind, that we are not enough. This breeds resentment and a perpetual state of dissatisfaction. Instead of focusing on our own path and our own progress, the only things we can truly control, we become fixated on the perceived lives of others. This is a recipe for misery. It distracts us from our purpose and drains our energy, which could be better spent on our own self-improvement. Finally, the ego traps us in our own defensiveness. When someone offers constructive criticism, the ego's first reaction is to protect itself. It rears up, makes excuses, shifts blame, attacks the person giving the feedback. It views any critique as a personal assault. This reaction walls us off from one of the most powerful tools for growth: honest input from others. A man who cannot hear criticism is a man who cannot improve. He is stuck in a self-imposed prison of his own making, where his ego stands guard at the door, refusing to let any hard truths in. Recognizing these traps is the first step toward disarming them. Practical tools for Stoic humility. Understanding the traps of the ego is one thing. Escaping them requires consistent practice. The Stoics were not theorists, they were practitioners. They developed concrete exercises to cultivate Stoic humility. One powerful tool is daily reflection, often done through journaling. At the end of each day, review your actions. Ask yourself, when did my ego take control today? Did I act out of pride? Did I seek validation? Did I get defensive? Do not judge yourself harshly, simply observe. Awareness weakens the ego's automatic control. It makes you more conscious of its influence in real time. Another essential practice, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. While we'll cover courage later, this also helps master the ego. Contemplate potential failures, contemplate setbacks, contemplate criticisms. Imagine your project failing. Imagine receiving a negative review. Imagine being publicly corrected. Thinking through these in advance robs them of emotional power. Your ego learns these outcomes are survivable. This builds resilience and humility. It reminds you you're not invincible and worth isn't tied to uninterrupted success. Practice small daily checks, minor, deliberate actions to subordinate the ego. Let someone else take the credit for a good idea. Choose the less prestigious task that still needs doing. Listen fully in a conversation. Don't plan your reply. Aim to understand. As Cato did, intentionally dress down, or choose a less comfortable route. These acts are resistance training for your humility muscle. Finally, seek opportunities to learn from others, especially those you might dismiss. Assume everyone knows something you don't. Approach conversations with curiosity, not to broadcast. Ask questions. Listen more than you speak. This counters the ego's belief that it's the smartest in the room. It turns every interaction into a lesson. Combine reflection, premeditation, small checks, and active listening. You begin to dismantle the ego's throne and replace it with a quiet, sturdy foundation of Stoic humility. This enables real, continuous growth. Why ego mastery builds true influence. It may seem paradoxical, but the less you are driven by ego, the more influential you become. People are not drawn to arrogance or the desperate need for attention. Quiet confidence, stability, authenticity. A man who has mastered his ego does not need to broadcast his accomplishments. His results speak for themselves. He does not need to be the loudest person in the room, because he knows that true power lies in listening and understanding. This creates an aura of calm and authority that people naturally respect and trust. His influence is not forced. It is earned through his character. Ego mastery is also the key to effective leadership and collaboration. An egoless leader is able to put the mission and the team first. They can make decisions based on what is best for the group, not what will make them look good. Take feedback, admit when they are wrong, change course. This fosters an environment of psychological safety where team members feel comfortable speaking up, taking risks, offering creative solutions. Conversely, a leader ruled by ego creates a culture of fear and sycophancy, where people are afraid to challenge bad ideas and the truth is suppressed. Furthermore, controlling your ego protects you from making foolish mistakes. The ego craves shortcuts and grand gestures. It is impatient and prone to overconfidence. A businessman to take a reckless gamble, an athlete to ignore a serious injury, or a politician to make a promise they cannot keep. A man who has his ego in check is more patient, more deliberate, and more rational. He is able to assess risks clearly without the distortion of wishful thinking. His decisions are grounded in reality, not in a fantasy of his own greatness. This protects him and those who depend on him from preventable disasters. Ultimately, ego mastery builds influence because it allows for genuine connection with others. Validation, praise, and advantage. You are free to simply connect with them as human beings. You can offer help without expecting anything in return. You can celebrate their successes without feeling envy. You can listen to their problems with genuine empathy. People can feel this. They know when they are being used as a prop for someone else's ego, and they are deeply drawn to those rare individuals who see them, hear them, and value them for who they are. This is the foundation of deep, lasting influence and true respect. In closing, remember, master your ego, practice Stoic humility, and serve others. Choose reflection, patience, and principled action. Build quiet strength, earn trust, and lead with character.
Thanks for watching the Gentleman of Distinction channel. Now, it's time to take what you've learned and put it into action. Remember, growth is a journey, and you're one step closer to mastering your masculine frame and unlocking your full potential. If you found value in today's video, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on the next step in your journey. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and as always, keep leveling up.